Hi, I'm Jeremy Crosby.
And I'm Nick Boucher. We're your hosts for the program that's all about your city, Talking Fitchburg.
Every weekday, we pull together the news, events, and information you need to stay on top of what's happening in the city of Fitchburg.
Find Talking Fitchburg on cable TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and our live stream on the web. Plus, you can find all our headlines and stories on Facebook, YouTube, and our video on demand service. This is your city.
Keep up with Talking Fitchburg and the issues affecting you and your neighbors.
Want to know what's happening in your city? Get Notify Me messages from the City of Fitchburg. Visit fitchburgwi.gov on your computer or mobile device and select the big Notify Me button on the left. Enter your email and/or phone number, whichever is best for you to get notifications. Scroll down the list and select all the topics you're interested in to receive email or text messages about. You'll be notified every time one of your topics is updated. Sign up for Notify Me, one more way to keep up with your Fitchburg government.
Welcome to the August 20th, 2025 meeting of the Police and Fire Commission. First item on the agenda is call to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The next item on the agenda, 3A, is the approval of the July 16th, 2025 Police and Fire Commission minutes. I will entertain a motion. I move. Second. It's been moved and properly second. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll take a vote. All in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. All right, ayes have it. Motion passes. Next item on the agenda, number 4, public appearances for non-agenda items. Do we have anyone here from the public? Next item, number 5, report from Police Department.
Hello, everyone. If I can start off by thanking all of those in the PFC that attended the last week's community night out. I did send out an email to the commission as well as the alders. It was the biggest turnout amongst elected officials that attended since prior years, and we really appreciate all of you who attended and supported the community night out. It was a great time. The event has grown in the last 4 years, and we're calculating anywhere between 3,000 and 4,000 in attendance. And this is the first time I think that we noticed or recognized others from outside of Fitchburg that attended. But it was a big crowd and continues to grow, and not just in attendees, but organizations and businesses that are volunteering their time to participate, which was really good. I think we had doubled last year's numbers. So moving on to our staffing report. We have one on-field training that should be done by next month. Things are going well, no concern. If you look at the unfilled positions, well, we're going to be talking about the captain position today. But that's not really, when we talk about actually spots filled, patrol, that'll bring us down to, with the field training, that should bring us down to approximately 4 vacancies. You're going to hear us, or you know about our presentation to the council on the reorganization. That actually is going to be one spot that will need to be filled within the upcoming months, which is very important. We do have a hiring process for police officers next month.
Next week, Thursday, we have
interviews. Next week, Thursday, so we're excited about that. We're actually going to try to find, that would be 3 positions if the reorganization escalation occurs through promotions. We're going to have a lieutenant promotion process, detective sergeant promotion process, and depending on where those come from, it'll trickle up, which means we'll need to hire a couple more officers. So it'll give us a busy fall. Hopefully by end of year, we'll be getting close to 0 vacancies and just worrying about our filled positions, which is very exciting to see. In the 4 years that I've been here, I have not seen that yet. We're on track for some positive things to happen. Any questions? Activity report. Citizen-generated calls decreased this month from last month, and officer-initiated calls increased this month versus last month. Compared to last year, our citizen-generated calls decreased. However, our calls, officer-initiated calls increased. I will say this several times throughout different meetings when I bring this up. Officer-initiated calls doesn't mean we're all stopping cars all the time. That officer-initiated call are also parking walks, interacting with people, engaging with the community in a positive way. Not necessarily just traffic stops. So that increases. And as we look at our crime numbers, I think we will see a correlation between our visibility interacting with the community as far as a drop in certain crime numbers. It also is seeing a 40+% turnover rate with a young new generation versus old generation of officers. We have officers that want to be out and interact with people. So we're getting a lot of positive activity from our young staff. As far as crime to report, we did have a burglary. We had 5 motor vehicle thefts. I'll talk about that when we get to the chart. There was one report of a shots fired this month, and there was an arrest made and firearm seized. That was one of the 5 firearms seized this month. One reported robbery. I'll explain more of that when we get to the chart. And we have our notable events that are there for you all to read. As I stated earlier, our citizen-generated calls versus our officer-initiated calls, I think there's a direct correlation due to the activity of our young staff, especially on the second shift. When we look at our crime report, as you see, we are last year we had 7 robberies. This year we're already at 6 for the year, and we're in August. The robberies, we look at each and every individual robbery. These are more known actor arguments. They are drug related, arguing over and whatever substance purchase. So they are known actors. That has become something where we're investigating more of the drug activity in particular locations. But again, known actors, not a stranger type of robbery that would create fear within a community. The sexual assaults, although the number are consistent, are similar. There's only 3 more versus last year. There's something that we are looking into our sexual assaults. We have a number of known actor sexual assaults with younger children, family, where the actors are in warrant status, and we'd like to bring some resolution to, for those. As far as the other numbers, they're all consistent or steady with the prior year. And last year was a good year with crime reduction. Shots fired, again, were consistent with last year. And last year was a very low year for the city of Fitchburg, so we want to keep it that way. Here's an interesting number, and I want to see that domestic issues, domestic violence, we're trending down, and that's something that we're going to monitor. I pressure our DV unit to interact with different organizations. We utilize our social worker to get involved, and if we can see that number drop, that helps with the overall egg assault numbers that are reported for the national report. And again, traffic crashes, I would have thought our traffic activity would have lowered that. We're consistent with last year, but we're not seeing a drop. And you can tell that our traffic activity has increased. We will eventually plateau, but the numbers now post-COVID is showing that our officers and the young generation are out there actually working the areas where we're having several complaints on traffic. Are there any questions?
Maybe a comment. I think you just said a moment ago that 24 was a reduction over the prior year. It's 23. Right?
Yes.
And we've seen a reduction to 24 and 25.
Yes.
Of almost 40%.
Yes.
Nice job.
Yes. Yes.
Nice job for you and your staff. You guys are doing a great job.
With the limited staff, it's been out there. I try not to talk too much about it, because if you brag about the crime numbers going down, you also have to answer when they go up. But one thing that we started 4 years ago is we really focus on gun violence, and I do believe in the crime triangle. I believe that a small number of people account for the majority of the problems. A small number or a small area of the city accounts for a large number of the problems. And if you follow that, you look at the most serious crime that occurs in your city, which is gun violence, and we do a lot of follow-up on every gun we recover. The NIBINs, which is gun technology on identifying and tracing the casings, is something that the technology is 15 plus years old, I think 20 years old. However, Dane County law enforcement was not using it. We brought it in, and we're the leaders in Dane County with that type of technology and running every gun through NIBINs and every casing we recover. It really paints a big picture where these guns are being used. We do have one detective that works with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, and their work and our connection with the U.S. Attorney's Office on group violence reduction has led to some of those crime numbers dropping. In other words, it's not just the gun that they're handling, it's not just the possession, but it's the whole story of all the other things that they're involved in. And taking care of that one person really brings attention onto other issues that are going down.
Any other questions for the chief? All right, next item on the agenda is 5B, closed session. I will move us into closed session. Pursuant to section 19.85, subsection 1, subsection C, Wisconsin statutes, the commission will move into closed session for the purpose of considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility. More specifically, to remove the probationary status of one police officer and to review the background reports on the 2 captain candidates and get authorization to move forward with a captain hire.
I'll second.
Any discussion? We're in closed session.
I'll start off in the closed.
Okay, we are back in open session. Are there any actions to be taken on items discussed in closed session?
I move to accept the chief's recommendation to appoint Officer Nicholas Green to the position, I will start over. I will move to accept the chief's recommendation that we appoint Officer Nicholas Green to regular employee status and release him from probationary conditions.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay? All right. The ayes have it, motion passes. Any other actions to be taken?
I move to approve a conditional offer of employment for the position of captain contingent upon successful completion of the remaining conditions.
I second.
It's been moved and properly second. Any discussion? All right, we'll take a vote.
Roll call, please.
Nay.
Angela Banks,
Yay.
Brian Russell.
Yay.
Okay, and Veronica Barra.
Nay.
And Sean Baxter.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Okay, motion passes. Next item on the agenda is 6D, request to require a psychological exam for future career firefighter hires.
That's actually
First.
Start with Mexican fire.
Yeah. 6A.
My apologies. We are actually at 6A of the agenda, the staffing report from the fire department.
All right, first up, the activity report. We were up 8% in July on responses. It's kind of pretty much a trend for the year, I would say. A few less structure fires, few more alarms. Things going well, a lot of mutual aid going on there too. Moving over to staff, and I want to spend a little bit more time than I have in the past on this. Career staff numbers. Obviously, we discussed last month about the 2 resignations that we were receiving. Both of those folks have already departed the organization. We wish them well. We brought one on officially to take that career spot. It was one of our interns that moved into that spot that was on the list. And then we have one opening that we're working through a process right now, and that's on a later agenda item. And then if you notice down to the part-time staff, so I want to look at those numbers because again that relates later on as well, is that we have the 1 POX chief and 0 lieutenants in the part-time staff. So it's definitely a gap that we want to look at in the future, and we'll discuss that later. But that 1 POX chief is set to retire fully in the middle of next month. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. Overtime up fairly considerably from last month. We had 2 firefighter injuries. They were both interns. I believe that caused some of that, was also a heavy kind of vacation PTO time as well, obviously with July. That resulted in 4 mandates for a total of 58 hours. We are anticipating August mandates to be higher, as well as overtime to be higher. So we'll keep you posted on that next month. Questions or concerns about that report?
So Chief, with the lieutenants, are you not able to cover all the lieutenant shifts with the current lieutenants that you have?
So right now, I have 5 career lieutenants. I have 1 firefighter that can act up in the lieutenant position. That's career. And then I don't have any part-time. So full staff for me on career would be 6 lieutenants. So that is something that we have requested in this budget process, to reclass a firefighter position to lieutenant for 2026. Unknown whether that outcome. In addition to that, we requested a career battalion chief be added as well. And again, unknown whether or not that'll make that. But again, I wanted to emphasize those for some later agenda items.
Any other questions on the staffing report for the fire department?
Not here.
All right. If none, we'll move into the next agenda item, which is 6B, closed session. I will take us into closed section. Pursuant to section 19.85, subsection 1, subsection C, Wisconsin statutes, the commission We'll move into closed session for the purpose of considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility. More specifically, to notice the commission of 2 career firefighter resignations.
Second.
Any discussion? All right, we are in closed session.
The city button for you?
We're back in open session. There are no actions to be taken on items discussed in closed session. Therefore, we'll move to agenda item 6D, request to require a psychological exam for future career firefighter hires.
Currently, we do not do that. Really, for me, I look at it as the same position as a career firefighter. Mental health issues are a rising problem in the fire service, as well as this exam is one of the #1 beat-outs for most hiring processes in the fire service. Sorry. So I would just like to add that into the future, and we do have the ability to pull that off with this year's budget for this.
We already have a fire chief, our fire chief goes through psychological, and then all of our sworn police staff go through psychological, so it's not out of the norm. It's just that we haven't required it of career firefighters, so we do hope to use it for whomever is hired next, when we go through interviews next week.
And obviously, I went through the process this year. I thought it was a well-done exam.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I move we require a psychological exam for future career firefighter hires.
Second.
Any discussion?
Just one quick, is there a reason we wouldn't include the POX staff in that same vein when we're hiring career firefighters?
Yeah, it's a budget issue,
Oh,
so
budget.
we do hope to request to hire POX, but we're getting close to the end of the year and don't have enough. Psychologicals are, I think they're almost $500.
We'll be coming back to you later this year with some other suggestions as well regarding some other stuff too.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay? Hearing none, the ayes have it, the motion passes. Next on the agenda is 6E, request to start a POX firefighter recruitment.
So obviously you've seen the overtime numbers. We're looking at them as well as our current POX staff. And their availability, and sometimes that's challenging, right, as life happens. So we have the ability to go up to 60 total POX staff. That includes the support staff, the officers, and the chief position. But we're well below that, so we'd like to explore that opportunity, find good candidates, to be able to reduce some overtime, take some, I think, work stress off some of the career employees as well, but also expand that pool of potential future career hires. So we'd like to start the POX process to do that.
Okay, I entertain a motion.
I move that we request to start a POX firefighter recruitment.
Second. It's been properly moved in second. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move into the vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay? Hearing none, the motion passes. The next item on the agenda is 6F, request to start a POX battalion chief recruitment.
So as I mentioned earlier, we do have one current POX division chief who's going to retire fully from the fire service in the middle of next month. That will leave a pretty significant gap, as I currently have 2 career staff battalion chiefs that work on the shifts. So one of my shifts is solely staffed by POX and overtime, or moving a qualified lieutenant into that seat. We'll have those opportunities, but I really feel like I need to fill the POX chief officer spots that I'm allowed, which is 2. So I'd like to start a battalion chief recruitment process for that. You haven't seen a battalion chief POX title. We worked together to create that job description, which is very similar, which is very, very similar to the career chief, battalion chief job description. This has created a little bit of stir in the organization, but really it's the same responsibilities, the division chief, same pay rate, all of that. So we would like to start that recruitment process.
What kind of stir is it?
The different term, or the different title, from traditionally, or the past several years, it's just been division chief versus battalion chief. But their need is to fill that vacant battalion career spot with the POX, and some other options that I discussed. Currently, the POX chief right now is working very close to full-time hours in that POX spot, and it's fine. I just don't know the likelihood of finding one individual that would be able to do that, so we're gonna have to use all those different options to be able to fill that seat on C shift.
So if it's, question, so if it's a POX person that's filling that position, what's the pay rate? Is it the same as having a full-time?
No, the POX rate is reduced. I can't give you the actual number, but I believe it's capped at 18.36.
It's under $19
It's
an
like
hour.
18 and some change. That's a whole other conversation. But we already have just word of mouth interested parties because folks, it's a small world, right? And folks know that that individual is retiring, so they're wondering how we're going to fill that. And again, we have a very good reputation. People want to be a part of the organization. So we have people that have already informally reached out about the opportunity, which is always good to have.
But you won't have one person, probably be multiple people.
I would love to see us get 2. And also for me, we don't have any qualified internal POX candidates that could fill this role. This would be external, predominantly. So I think it's a great opportunity to look at succession planning for the fire department. Getting in some strong candidates in part-time, maybe those are options, or at least increase the pool of options in the future for, because we do have people in the command staff side that may be retiring in the next 12 to 18 months.
I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to start the POX battalion chief recruitment.
Second.
It's been properly moved in second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it, and the motion carries. All right, the next item on the agenda is 7G, request to consider career firefighter candidates who apply for POX firefighter vacancies.
This is merely a request to just deploy some efficiency in the process. If we have qualified and desired applicants from the career process on the list, I would like to be able to offer them a POX position without them having to go through another process for a POX position. Obviously, we haven't worked out all the details of how that process would look, but I believe we would gather all candidates and just not require those career list candidates to go through the same process, but evaluate all candidates at the same time. And then again, it's not, we're not guaranteeing that all of them would like to move on to part-time versus career. Just give them the opportunity and create some efficiency with our process.
So So we have 17 interviewing next Friday, and if any of those 17 that go through the process if 16 of them don't get hired, but are interested in POX, we're not gonna make them go through an interview process again for POX. They'll be considered already, but they have to interview
Yes.
for at least career firefighter to be eligible for POX.
Yes, correct.
Them
We will
to
not,
interview.
they will not skip any part of any process. It's just they won't have to do it twice.
Is there a time frame that they would allow them to do that before it would become stale and have to redo it? Have you thought through that?
Well, I mean, they may not life-wise be able to do the part-time, and they may just be looking to change career jobs. So there may be some complications. So at the end of the POX process, that would be the end of their opportunity to do that. But they would remain on a career list for us, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. So is
So,
it getting
yeah.
stagnant?
Well, I'm just thinking if there's no if the process next week completes and there isn't a POX spot, but there will be in 6 months, does that person get to skip the line or stay in the POX process, just like you're saying? Or is there a time frame where that career firefighter process, involvement sunsets and now he's
Yeah,
or
the
she
lists
is
are
just
typically 12 months, correct?
It has been traditionally
so it'd be
here.
So,
12 months.
yeah, it'd be 12 months for the career opportunity.
It's, as long as they're on the career list.
As long as they interview and
kind
are
of-
on the eligibility list. yeah.
Okay.
So if I'm understanding you, Sean, you're saying that, so when that career list expires, then everybody's just gotta start all over.
Exactly.
That would make sense to me.
We don't, do we create POX lists?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
But we just have always hired almost everybody on the list, or there's been like 3 people. It's not been that many.
Yeah, so with the budgeting, we budget a number of hours for POX, not necessarily a number of people. So that's how I can manage the different positions that way. So.
Yeah, okay, good.
Is there a motion?
I'll move we allow career firefighter candidates who applied for POX firefighter vacancies to be included in the POX process, if not selected as a career firefighter. Is that a fair way to say it?
Pretty good.
Long
Do it
round
again.
way to get there.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All right, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it, motion passes. Agenda item number 7, announcements. Any announcements? Okay, here none, we will move on to the final agenda item, number 8, adjournment. I'll take a motion.
I move we adjourn so we can go watch the review.
I'll second that.
It's been properly moved in second. Any discussion? All in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. We adjourn.